After gobbling up half of Europe, Hitler looked at Britain and said, that island looks tasty. The plan was called Operation Sea Lion. Sounds epic, though no lion has ever successfully swum to Britain. To get ready, Germany sent a whole flock of planes. The roar over London sounded like 100 blenders on turbo mode. But the Brits weren't having it. Tiny Spitfires zoomed up to say, "You're not getting through, mate." Germany had numbers, Britain had radar. That ping-ping machine was basically Google Maps for enemy planes. RAF pilots flew day and night, eyes darker than coffee beans. Only caffeine and patriotism kept them awake. On a sunny day, Germany lost hundreds of planes. Hitler probably threw his meeting table out the window. Of course, the British lost many too. But their morale stayed higher than their rooftops. Meanwhile, Londoners looked up, treating the dogfights like free action movies every morning. Sirens wailed. People dived into shelters. Some brought tea because dying of thirst during an air raid would just be rude. Kids slept in subway tunnels. It was fine as long as no one snored louder than the bombs. On the radio, Churchill shouted, "We shall fight on the beaches." And people thought, "Sir, but we live nowhere near a beach." Still, those words fired up the nation. Everyone believed, "We'll win." Right after the bombs stopped falling, each time Germany attacked, Britain hit back like two kids arguing over who blinks first. Frustrated, Hitler yelled, "Fine, drop everything on London." And thus, the Blitz began. At night, sirens screamed everywhere. But the British still brewed teeth. They must have calmness coded in their DNA. German bombers lit up the sky, yet London cats still napped peacefully. True local spirit. RAF pilots fought until exhaustion. Each time they returned alive, they joked, "Just took a walk in the clouds." After months of bombing, Germany gave up. Operation Sea Lion was cancelled, and Britain still stood tall. Hitler slammed his desk. "Fine, we go east." And just like that, a new nightmare started brewing. Hitler was furious he couldn't beat Britain by day, so he thought, "Fine, let's do it at night." And that's how the Blitz began. As night fell, London's sky lit up not with fireworks, but bombs. Lots and lots of bombs. German bombers buzzed like angry bees. People ran and prayed but somehow still didn't spill their tea. Thousands of homes were destroyed. Yet the British calmly said, "No worries, we'll rebuild it tomorrow." Every time the sirens wailed, the city rushed underground. Fast people got seats. The slow ones, well, free cardio. In the subways, people slept, ate sandwiches, and even sang songs. Basically, a survival festival. Kids treated bombs like fireworks. That one was loud. Yeah, 10 out of 10 explosion. Above ground, firefighters worked non-stop. They sprayed so much water, they could have opened a car wash. One night, St. Paul's Cathedral almost got hit. But it stood tall like God himself, saying, "Nice try, Hitler." By morning, people dusted off, fixed their roofs, and went to work like nothing happened. People joked, "If Hitler wants to bomb our spirit, well, good luck with that, darling." Germany thought bombs would make the British surrender. Instead, it made them drink even more tea. For 8 long months, the Blitz went on. London glowed every night, and Hitler fumed in the dark. Despite the destruction, the British spirit never broke. They called it the Blitz spirit. Lose your house, keep your smile. When the final bomb fell, Britain still stood, and Hitler finally realized, these people are seriously unbreakable. While Hitler was busy bombing Britain, his buddy Mussolini stood up like, "Hey, mind if I join the party?" So Italy declared war on Britain and France. The problem, Italy was not really prepared for war. In North Africa, Italian troops marched under the sun, basically baking pizzas on their helmets. Tanks got stuck, soldiers got lost, and everyone was thirsty. The British saw that and said, "Oh, a free win." Then sent troops from Egypt to absolutely wreck Italy. Mussolini panicked and called Hitler. "Bro, a little help." And Hitler just sighed deeply. So Germany sent General Rommel, the Desert Fox. And yeah, he earned that nickname fast. In just weeks, Rommel turned the desert into his playground. German tanks drifted over sand like a Red Bull ad. Mussolini watched proudly, saying, "Yes, that was my plan all along." No, it wasn't, buddy. For now, Germany saved Italy from total humiliation. But Hitler had to split his army, and he did not enjoy that. A new thought popped into Hitler's head. Instead of cleaning up Mussolini's mess, maybe I should just invade the Soviet Union. After bombing London for 8 months with zero success, Hitler crossed his legs and thought, maybe I've been attacking the wrong direction. So he looked east to the USSR, a huge cold place filled with things no one wants to conquer in winter. Stalin was just chilling, signing trade deals, thinking they were still besties forever. But inside Hitler's brain, the soundtrack went backstab time. German generals were like, "Sir, are you sure? The USSR is kinda huge." Hitler replied, "Relax, it'll take a few weeks." The generals looked at each other like, "Yeah, sure, a few weeks, then a few months, then a few million frozen corpses." Hitler called it Operation Barbarossa. Sounds badass, but it basically translates to, "Don't try this in winter." He gathered over 3 million troops, 600,000 vehicles, and 3,000 planes, a giant parade marching straight into frostbite. In spring 1941, Hitler grinned at his map. "Prepare. We'll erase the USSR in 3 months." And Stalin? He was busy watching movies and ignoring his spies who kept saying, "Germany's about to attack, dude." Officers nervously reported, and Stalin said, "No way, Hitler's my friend, yeah. The kind of friend who's sharpening a knife." Meanwhile, in Berlin, Hitler practiced speeches with his map, grinning like, "Summer vacation in Moscow, let's go." Rommel called from North Africa. "Oh, we're not done here yet." Hitler, relax. I'm great at multitasking. Everyone knew invading Russia before winter was dumb. Hitler said, "Don't worry, we'll be done by Christmas." And like every horror movie, everyone knows what's coming, except the main character. June 22nd, 1941, before sunrise, Germany opened fire. Stalin, still fast asleep. Over 3 million German troops crossed the border. The biggest invasion in history. Stalin woke up like, "Wait, what?" At first, Germany advanced like crazy. Soviet troops got captured, tanks burned, and maps looked like someone erased half the country. German generals bragged, "We've gone 500 kilometers. Only 5,000 more to go, buddy." They advanced so fast, they literally had to stop and ask locals, "Excuse me, which way to Moscow?" Meanwhile, Stalin stayed silent for a whole week, just sitting there like, "I trusted you, Hitler." When he snapped out of it, he lost it. The USSR ordered, "Fight back, not one step backward." Moscow called up everyone's soldiers, workers, and even grandmas with frying pans. German forces kept winning Kiev, Minsk, Smolensk. They took everything except common sense. Generals shouted, "We're almost in Moscow." And the weather replied, "Nope, winter's coming." German soldiers wore summer uniforms. Weeks later, their hands froze to their guns. Tanks stopped moving. Fuel froze solid. Some tanks literally died of cold, not bullets. Soviet troops just shrugged. "Thank God, it's only -30. Germans started starving. They made snow soup and ate frozen bread that crunched like potato chips. Stalin sent in General Zhukov, a calm, scary old guy. He pointed at the map and said, "Counterattack." And boy, did they counterattack. Soviet troops charged through the snow, yelling, "Welcome to Russian winter." Hitler couldn't believe it. His 3-month victory turned into a 3-month freeze. German soldiers wrote home, "Mom, I'm not afraid of bullets, I'm afraid of wind." In Berlin, Hitler lost his mind, blaming the weather, the troops, even the snow itself. That winter, hundreds of thousands of Germans froze to death. Turns out, you can fight Russians but not Russian weather. Stalin raised a glass of vodka and smiled, "Za zdorvy." Cheers to Hitler learning his first big lesson. And just like that, from invader to defender, Germany's war machine started rolling backward. Germans were cold, hungry, and done. Soviets sang Katyusha and bombed with passion. By the end of 1941, Hitler's promised quick victory vanished, like his nose in the freezing wind. Meanwhile, across the world, another storm was brewing. Japan was about to shock the planet. By the end of 1941, the battlefield turned into a giant freezer. German soldiers shivered like chickens in a fridge. No winter gear, no food, no hope. Some burned tanks just to stay warm, literally, burning their career. Meanwhile, Soviet troops laughed, drinking vodka and shouting, "Thank you, weather." In his bunker, Hitler panicked. He redrew the map every day and it just kept getting smaller. The generals begged, "We should retreat." Hitler yelled, "No, advance." So, they advanced backward. In Russia, snow fell endlessly. Civilians knitted sweaters, sent letters, and included a few curses for the Germans. German troops got surrounded, wandering in snow forests yelling, "Anyone know the way back to Berlin?" Stalin sipped vodka, stared at the snow, and said, "Ah, yes, Mother Russia's secret weapon, winter." The battle stalled. No one won, no one surrendered, only noses froze solid. Germany realized blitzkrieg doesn't work in snow. Russia realized fighting in winter also kinda sucks. While Hitler struggled in Russian snow, Japan whispered across the Pacific, "Hey, let's join the chaos too." On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, home of America's Pacific Fleet. A peaceful morning instantly turned into an action movie. Bombs exploded, ships burned, soldiers fell, radios crackled. "We are under attack." President Roosevelt appeared, declaring, "A date which will live in infamy." And America officially entered the war. Now Germany, Italy, and Japan stood on one side. Britain, the USSR, and the US on the other. The world was split in two, and the real party of World War II had just begun.